Alright guys, Bludgerboy here to watch himself playing some more Ratchet Clank 3. It's been a while since I uploaded an episode of this. The first episode I uploaded, I recorded months ago, or not months ago, but a month ago, at least. And the reason I uploaded it was because I was sick, and I had nothing else to upload, and I couldn't re-record anything because I was really sick, and it would have sounded abhorrent on the microphone. So yeah, that's why the first episode was uploaded way earlier than I wanted it to be, really. I'm not sure if I uploaded Mario Kart before or after that, but I wanted to get Mario Kart done first. In any case, that's one of the reasons for the gap. The other reason is I've just had stuff to do. I've had to enroll for uni, and I've had to, I'm at uni now, I'm back at uni now, so that's in full effect. I've had people over, I've gone out places, nowhere special, just, I've had shit to do. And a lot of the times when I've had time to do stuff, I've been at home with other people, and I'm not doing commentary while other people are here because they'll interfere. It is difficult to do commentary unless I'm alone, because I keep getting interrupted. So, with that out of the way, the commentary for this one, I actually disagree with now, in part. I actually want to change what I've said, effectively. It's not really a controversial issue or anything, but I do want to go over this, because I think it's interesting how my mind has changed on this topic. And interestingly enough, it's a comedian who I went to see about 2 months ago now. Yeah, 2 months ago exactly today. I see him on the 1st of June. And back then I was seeing quite a few comedians. I saw 4 performances in total, and I'll just go through them all, might as well. The first one I saw was Jefferies. I saw him in May. He was brilliant. Like, he was just laugh out loud the whole fucking time funny. I have not laughed that hard for a long time. And this is why I like live comedy. When you're amongst the audience, when you're laughing with other people, it's a lot easier to laugh, and it's a lot more comfortable to laugh. Like, it's not like I can't laugh at a YouTube video, but it's so much better live to me. And this guy is really risque and off the walls. Well, not off the wall, but he's risque. He's very dirty and crude. So, not that his performances will be banned on TV, but he's the kind of guy you need to see live to get the full uncensored show. And he was just brilliant the whole way through. I wish I could remember like certain bits, but it's difficult because I was laughing the whole time. There was one bit where he talked about his nephew who was in the audience, his brother's son. And he goes, "Hey, did you know that your mum sucks your dad's cock?" And it's like, it's such a simple joke, but that just sent the whole audience off for about a minute, which is insane. So he was brilliant. If you're into dirty jokes, and I would highly recommend him. Performance after that was a gala performance. Gala performance? Not gala performance, a roadshow performance. The Melbourne International Comedy Roadshow performance. They came into my town, and I went to see them. And there was one guy there who I particularly wanted to see because I'd seen him on TV, and he seemed clever. And he did really dark, disgusting kind of stuff. Not sexual, just really dark stuff. So that was okay. I laughed. Wasn't as good as Jefferies, but it was still funny, and it was still worth going. And the other performers who performed were also pretty good too. Not too memorable, but still a good trip. Then I went to see Steve Hughes on the 1st of June, and he's the one I want to talk about. So I'll leave him till last. A guy opened for Steve Hughes on the 1st of June called Rhys Nicholson. And my mum actually went, well, let's go see him. So we booked tickets. What was bullshit was we booked 2 tickets for him. 2 days after, the ticket master person, the business who handles the tickets, sent us an email saying, if you buy tickets for Rhys Nicholson, we'll give you 1 ticket free. If you buy 1 ticket, we'll give you 1 free. 2 fucking days after we bought them. Like, ticket companies don't troll, do they? Well, they must troll. That's just so stupid. Like, that cannot have been accidental. Bullshit. Anyway, so we went to see him, Rhys Nicholson, and he's gay, so he's and as with most gay comics, they do material about their their being in the closet, coming out of the closet. Not like all of his material was about that, but some of it was, and I don't know, he was not funny. I don't know why. I was in a bad mood in the audience, not because of him, but because of other stuff. That might have affected my view of him. But the thing is, when he opened for Steve Hughes, I was pumped for Steve Hughes. I didn't even know he was going to be there, so I was happy to laugh at him just because I was pumped for Steve Hughes. But seeing him alone, by himself, not performing with anyone else, it just... I don't know, and I think half the reason was because I was in a bad mood, the other half of the reason was he was just doing the same jokes over and over again. It was just gay joke, abortion joke, rape joke. It was all dark, which is fine. Dark jokes are fine, but when you do dark jokes over and over and over, it's like swearing over and over. It just loses its impact to me, and it's just stupid. So he's not a dumb person. I just think the structure of the act is too repetitive and too monotonous. So yeah, he needed to work. The rest of the audience was enjoying it, so maybe it was just me. My mum enjoyed it, she was laughing the whole way through, so maybe it was just me, but I don't know. I just did not enjoy that anywhere near as much as the other ones. And then we get to Steve Hughes. Now, Steve Hughes, I've mentioned on here before, I'm sure. He's very political, very left-wing, conspiracy theorist type person. Remnant of Bill Hicks to a degree, a bit more modern, more metal, very much into heavy metal and that kind of music. So I went to see him live. I'd seen snippets of his stuff on YouTube, and he seemed very intelligent, very insightful. So I'm like, well, I want to see this guy because he speaks my language. He speaks my mind. And he speaks his own mind and enriches my mind, so, this will be great. I went to see him live, and the first 90% of it was pretty funny. I can't remember specifics. I'm kind of bad at that, evidently, but the first 90% was fine. Then he totally ruined it with the last 10%. Totally fucking ruined it. He made 3 comments that made no sense. First off, he was talking about how we always talk about economics and capitalism, and he went, well, let's just talk about economics and capitalism. Let's not talk about socialism or communism. Socialism is a school of economics. Okay, it's a form of economics, and we have a partially socialist system. Okay, in Australia, and even in the US, there's no such thing as a pure capitalist system anywhere. Doesn't exist. Okay, hasn't existed for a very long time, if ever. So this guy doesn't really know what socialism actually is. I'm not too up on it, but I know it's an economic system. Secondly, he mentioned atheism. And he said something along the lines of, atheists are talking about, oh, God doesn't exist. What are they talking about? God doesn't exist. God exists as a fragment of our collective consciousness. He exists as a thing in our minds. Everyone's heard of him. What do you say when you're fucking? You say, oh God, so everyone's heard of him. What? Are you seriously trying to say that God exists because we mention him when we come? Really? That's your argument? Some retarded semantics bullshit? What? That baffled me. I'm like, that's not what atheism is. Atheism isn't the claim that God doesn't exist even as a concept. That's not what we're claiming. Atheism is the rejection of the theistic claim that there is at least one God. That's all atheism is. Whatever atheists Steve has met have totally fucked his perspective on what atheism is. I don't know if they just acted like cunts or if Steve's a fuckwit. Probably a bit of both. Because seriously, that is so ignorant. I cannot get over how stupid that is. But, again, given that he might not have the best atheist friends, maybe it's just his friends who are being dicks and, being stupid. And it's rubbed off on him. Any concept of him being intelligent as to these kind of things, though, totally died when he made this comment. And anyone who knows about the creationism evolution debate will cringe when they hear me say this. He was talking about, he said, I don't believe in evolution. If we evolved from apes, why are there still apes? Yeah, that's right, he said that. This is someone I thought to be extremely intelligent. Very insightful, very well read. He's evidently up on philosophy and psychology. I think he's read a lot of Carl Jung's stuff, because he's the guy who came up with things like the collective consciousness, the collective unconsciousness, which Steve has mentioned and stuff. So he's not totally stupid and uninformed, but he's evidently very biased and has an incredibly obvious agenda, which is just reject everything outright, no matter how credible the sources are. Because if you've done any research in evolution, you'd kind of maybe agree with it. Okay? There's a reason 95% of science, fucking probably more than 95%, there's a reason the vast majority of scientists agree with evolution. It's not because there is some fucking scientific conspiracy out to fuck everything over. It's because these are the facts. We've observed it, and evolution has been observed, by the way. For anyone who claims, oh, it hasn't been observed. Yes, it fucking has. In controlled conditions, it has been observed. And then you've got all the fossil record and the DNA similarity. It's the evidence for it is overwhelming. Okay? That's not to say we can't be... everything about it's correct, but the underlying principle that we evolved from lesser animals, lesser in terms of their ability, is almost certainly true. And this guy evidently has no clue about science. Like, fucking zero. I don't know anything about science, really. But at least I've done some research into this stuff, you know? I'm a bit more credible than he is. And that moment right there where he said that, I'm like, wait, what? 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 That's not right, that's wrong. That's like 100% wrong. There's a very easy answer to that question. The reason we evolved from apes and there are still apes is because we evolved from a common ancestor. That's why. If you'd bothered to look this shit up, you would know that. And this got even worse when I bought his DVD, because I bought his DVD before the show started. And I've been looking for his DVD everywhere. I knew he had one, but I couldn't find it. And he had one and they were selling it, so I'm like, fuck, I'll buy it. And 20 bucks, cool. And I went home, and by this stage I was kind of like, he doesn't seem up on these things. And I watched it, and it was the same. Not the same show, totally different material, but it was the same kind of problem. He mentioned atheism again. He said atheists are the new Christians. Going around telling everyone, don't believe in God! Why not? Ah, because there isn't one! How do you know? Science told me. Science told me. No! Science did not tell us that God doesn't exist. At all. It's a rejection of an existing claim. He thinks atheism is the assertion that no gods exist. It's a fucking retarded misconception. That's not what atheism is. It can be. Strong atheism is the assertion that no gods exist. It's impossible to prove, because you can't prove a negative, right? But you can assert it if you want. But yeah, he's totally misinformed on what atheism is. And he also bashed empirical science. Again, I don't know why. He seems to... He was talking about Grand Theft Auto or something. He talking about like something that happened in my country. He was talking about like kids being exposed to things they shouldn't be, to pop culture. And he said, like, why don't you take your kids home and pacify them, letting them play Grand Theft Auto, all the while they listen to Lady Gaga and he smears her fast food cunt across their souls. I'm like, well, fair enough, pop culture is pretty shitty, But Grand Theft Auto would be right up Steve's alley if he actually fucking played it. It's satire. It's interactive social satire. And anyone who's played it fucking knows that. Not letting children play it I can agree with, because it's pretty full on, but... And... he said something about, you know, oh, but they don't have to worry about their souls because they're products of science. They don't have souls. Then he put up his hand like the Nazi salute and went, good little consumers. Did you just equate empirical science with consumerism? Really? Not that empirical science hasn't helped consumerism, but really? Like, what the fuck? What the hell kind of argument are you making that we have to have souls to be moral? Why? See what I mean? When you look into these claims, they fall flat on the ground and they just don't make any sense. Some of his bits on the DVD were fantastic. Like he was talking about alcohol and how we drink, and you know how there are actually fines. You can get fined for being drunk in a pub. Which is just stupid, isn't it? And his argument was, this is the pub. This is the building we built to get pissed in. This is the pub. This is where you go to get drunk. I tried getting drunk in the back. They went fucking mental. I preferred it. And there was less security and the air conditioning was heap fucking better. And I got a free pen. So some of his bits are really good. And he's been on political correctness, which I won't go into because I'm running out of time. But you know, some of his bits are really good. Some of them are fucking shithouse. And just totally misinformed and make no sense. You gotta keep an eye on comedians. We can be very arrogant and very misinformed on things. we really can be, because remember, it's one voice up there. One voice. No one's challenging them, no one's debating them, no one's discussing anything with them. It's one voice. It's very one-sided. It's an issue I've thought about personally, like how it's a moral issue, you know, how much can we say before we're being just bigots, you know. But yeah, it totally changed my opinion on him. And it just, yeah, it disappointed me, really. It was really disappointing, because I had such a high view of him, and it just went away in the matter of 2 hours. Like an idol of mine just kind of faded away. And I listened to a CD of his on YouTube, like basically like another show he did, a full-length show. And he really does get on the conspiracy bandwagon a lot with all of this nonsense. And again, some of the conspiracies have been proven true. I mean, look at the NSA stuff. You might have thought they were crazy 10 years ago for telling you the government was watching everything you do, but now you won't, will ya? You know, sometimes they're right, but sometimes they're wrong. And he was talking about how the EU is planning this to become some superstate to erode culture or something, and I'm like, why? Why would they do that? What is their reasoning for doing that? Because what didn't make sense to me was he actually spoke very highly of Europe in terms of its human rights, oh not human rights, but its lack of draconian laws involving things like smoking in public places and health and safety and stuff. He actually spoke very highly of Europe, so I don't know what the fuck his problem is with the EU. Not that the EU is some perfect entity, I'm not up on it like he is, but at the same time, his criticism just seems so biased that I don't know if he's on the level. And he makes the most retarded claims. Like he mentioned how escalators say, "You are now on the escalator," and he said, without a trace of irony, you know, the reason they're doing this is so we get used to taking orders from machines to get used to the Orwellian future that they're creating. I'm thinking, or maybe it's so blind people know they're on the escalator when they're on the escalator. Just maybe it's for disabled people. Did you ever think of this? Oxam's razor. The simpler the solution is, the more likely it is to be the actual answer. See what I mean? He overthinks this shit sometimes. So yeah, I'm kind of split on him now. I'd love to talk to him, to get fucking clear on why he thinks these silly things, and what his problem is with science, why he thinks it's necessary to have a soul to be moral, because that seems to be what he's implying. Because I'm just not seeing the link there at all. So, yeah, I'd love to talk to him. I got, with these shows by the way, I got to actually meet Jim Jefferies in person. I got a photo with him. Blurry as hell. It sucks, because the guy, they're like a guy they're taking photos. And there's lots of people in the line, so they have to go quickly. I understand that. But the guy took 2 pictures. And he took 2 pictures to make sure that if one got fucked up, the other one would be fine. Ironically, because my camera takes ages to focus, if he'd waited and just taken 1 picture, it would have come out properly. But instead, I got 2 blurry pictures. Because the focus on my phone is very slow, so... But oh well, I still got a picture with Jim Jefferies, so I didn't get to meet Steve Hughes. I wanted to tell him my pornography joke about how you can't... You can fuck when you're 16, but you can't watch porn till you're 18. I thought he'd like that. But, oh well, next time I guess.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, a bit disappointing, but still good to go out and see live comedy. It's different to YouTube. It's a different experience. So I'd recommend it if you like stand-up on YouTube, that you go see it live, because it's we perform for a live audience. We don't usually plan with cameras in mind. We perform with the audience in mind. So in any case, after all that yammering, I've got to 21 minutes, which has been annoying. I wanted to split it a bit more evenly than that. But in any case, I'll catch you guys later.